Hello, hello, welcome everyone. Another World of Warships Legends video. I am your host today, Phoenix61. How is it going? We are rocking the Pensacola. I didn't really need to, I'm going to try and do some of the standard, regular tech tree ships a little bit more. I like to play through premium supplies missions, but then I'm always playing those, those premium ships that I have, like the handful of at each level, right? So. And I was kind of a fan of the Pensacola. Me and the Pensacola have, there's a love-hate relationship, or I should say a hate-love relationship. Like, this was one of the first ships where I learned my lesson the hard way a lot of times, not to be broadside to battleships, right? Like, but this is the one where I was like, you know what? I hate this ship. It dies too easily. And then I was like, oh, it's like a cruiser thing, and you have to pay attention to your positioning, right? So we did take advantage of this smoke screen that a lovely, friendly, rando blue team destroyer dropped for us. But then, of course, it's a short one, so I was like, oh. So I'm going to hold off firing our guns right now so that we don't get spotted, because I don't want to get hit too badly by this Andrea Doria, right? So we'll move around. Ideally, I want to get closer to the middle of the map and then kind of sneak in and cap the D capture zone, right? So I'm gonna do a loop around, and then of course here it's like, oh, somebody else has got a smoke screen now. So I'm like, all right, so we get a couple of shots off here. We'll see how it goes. I hit the brakes here, and it's another, it's another short one. So I was like, dang it, like let's just go, let's go. And then keep an eye on the across the map here in this situation, right? So I have been, hit pretty rough by people paying attention. If someone's paying attention and looking across the map and they see someone broadside, right, they're gonna pick on you, right? So and then I've been in the other scenario too, where I'm that other guy and we've just totally dev struck people across the map on this one. If you get yourself into the right situation, right, and see someone's not paying attention. So that's why we keep poking our scope to that side, just to make sure, and check and see, make sure nobody's actually looking at us, right? And then I'm really itching to finish off this DeGrasse here, so we'll switch to AP since he's kind of sideways to us, right? He's giving us a little bit of hull angle, but he does not want to go down easily. We've hit him a few times and haven't done anything, significant as far as damage. And then, of course, New Mexico's going to finish him off for us. And thus far, my plan is working out okay. We managed to kind of sneak around here, and so we can get into this zone capture, and then we'll see if we can't kind of hit two birds with one stone here, right? Like, see if we can't get this cap. We are getting spotted by an airplane, which is a little frustrating, but that should go away eventually. So just make sure we're not giving up too much angle or too much, straight line shot for this Andrea Doria, right? So I'm just kind of trying to see if I can get those front guns around the corner. And then now we're no longer spotted by the plane, so it's like, yeah, this sweet spot right here. So he's not looking at us, so we can take advantage of that. But, the second he sees the opportunity, he's going to change his mind and shoot us instead, right? So AP against this battleship does pretty dang good, right? So this is why I now love the Pensacola, right? So we hated it at first, and it's just another thing where it's you gotta get, look at that, 2 Citadels, 4 hits, nice, up to 35,900 damage right here on Pensacola tier 5, right? Let's do this. We'll get the zone cap. It would have been nice to have gotten that kill, right? He was had a sliver left, so then it was pretty quick for somebody else to sneak in there and finish him off, right? The New Mexico, I'm going to imagine we're not going to have quite the same luck, even if he does, even if we do get a good shot, right? Pretty Merca armor on that one, right? So we'll see what happens. We definitely, we're going to have to be careful not to go broadside to him again, very, very much so. Krispy Kreme across the map here. That'd be nice. That'd be a nice shot. The going cruiser against cruiser is kind of where this ship, I feel like it really shines, right? That's when you're gonna get, it feels like you're in a battleship, when you're shooting at cruisers with AP, right? So you do some pretty wicked damage against these guys, especially when they're angled for you. Yeah, it's New Mexico. So I'm gonna be a little conservative here and not, yeah, look at that damage. Let's see if we can finish him. I fired a little bit back. just because I didn't want to hit too much of the mountain here, but I probably could have aimed a little further forward, but it didn't matter. Finished him off. Yeah, so I'm going to be a little more conservative here. We'll go and make sure we get the zone cap and see if we can. I was hoping like the rear turrets would get around the island there, but not so much. But let's go make sure we get the cap here, and then I'm like looking at the ship count at the top right. I'm like, oh, they've only got 3 ships left anyway, right? So it's not too big of a deal. So this is where, like if you guys watch my channel, like and you're getting this situation where your team's pretty much guaranteed to win, I like to get a little crazy and get a little more aggressive, right? So we'll switch to AP as this Omaha start sailing out broadside here. And then the New Mexico that's in the middle of the map, I'm imagining he's distracted by the destroyer that is also YOLO rushing up at him too. So I was kind of hoping to be able to, like, at the same time, like, finish off this Omaha, and then we just get garbage for damage on him there. So we'll aim a little further forward here, and then he's kind of turned away, so I aimed a little bit higher. And I was kind of going to try and have faith in those bullets and see what we would get for this Omaha, or for this New Mexico, but also just trying to make sure, like, we are, like, in a terrible position if you were to shoot at us, right? So, but we are doing decent damage. We got 3 penetrations and overpen, right? So, like, I'm gonna move up and try and angle a little better, but like he's looking at that destroyer, right? So we're getting away with murder here at this point, like just being able to do damage against him while he's distracted by somebody else. But now he's finished off that destroyer, so it's gonna be a guessing game on who he's gonna want to look at. So I'm going to try and move and see if we can't get around the island here, get some cover between us and him. He's going to go down. Like, literally, the rest of my team on the map, if you look, like, that's probably, that New Mexico's probably the only thing they can shoot at, right? So, like, he's gonna not last long, right? Omaha still has a good chunk of health, so aimed a little bit better this time around. Plus, he was going slower, so we did pick up the dev strike there. And that gives us 3 kills, almost 100 grand on damage here. This game started out kind of boring, and then, we played smart, right? Make sure we survived, right? Like, that is key, especially for a cruiser, right? And then, yeah, we'll pick on this Koenig, however you say it, right? You guys know me, I can't talk. And then, yeah, we'll head towards the A cap, right? Like, just going for XP at this point, XP and damage. When you have these plow through games, right? Oh no, we're only at 2 kills. Maybe we can get 3 here. So this is a good one where I was like kind of testing the waters. Like this ship, I feel like it does pretty good damage against battleships even when you're using AP, right? So sometimes you have the, like, depending on your, I don't focus on like gun sizes and stuff like that too much. But yeah, some of the smaller guns aren't gonna do this kind of damage. And so you'll typically switch to AG, right? But I'm just like a try it out kind of guy, right? I'm like, I'll dig in, people like to dig in the stats, which is always interesting, right? But I'm like, all right, AP's not doing that great, switch to AG. That was a lot easier. Just shy of 100 grand, but we do get 2,800 for XP, which puts us at the top of the leaderboard pretty easily there. I always like to see how much money we're making. 250,000 silvers. With our premium that we've got going on right now. And then, yeah, so we're using Norman Scott. You can see up in the top right? So Mary East River is just the Commander Geist, gives us the voiceover and shell tracers and whatever else, right? But Norman Scott's got the accuracy for base trait, and then I just build into AP and accuracy for these cruisers as well. So cruiser main battery range, another 10%. I don't pick the torpedo detectability range on cruisers. Like, a lot of times that's just because most of them you get sonar, right? So, like, you need to just be smart, be aware if there's somebody with torpedoes, such as a destroyer, you should be using your sonar, right? So that's why I don't pick the torpedo detectability and I go for the guns, right? And then, yeah, more shell grouping, more dispersion. And then for the legendary perk, I'm almost always picking fully packed, but you can easily make a good argument for the refill station. I mean, it's all about your playstyle, right? We don't quite have enough to rank up the legendary one, right? So, but yeah, so that's a non-paid commander, right? You can get this commander with, Norman Scott from Commander Crates and buying them in the store, right? So, don't use your universal commendations, right? Wait till you can buy some. You just go in the store and buy that commander a bunch of times, right? So, but that is our Pensacola game for the day. That was kind of a quickie, right? So, but thank you guys so much for watching. Do make sure to follow the channel. That really does help me out. I am kind of a small channel, so a single follow actually is beneficial. I notice you. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, we're doing World of Warships videos every day, and we occasionally play some other games too. So we will talk again tomorrow. Thanks, guys.